There we go. Oh, thank you, Lucy. Okay, so the ones we're making today are ham and cheese, and then the veggies that I've chosen, because I'm the mom, I get to choose what's in mine. We've got red pepper, sweet onion. For herbs, we have chives and parsley. Oh, and last, we also have spinach. Spinach is delicious with eggs. Yep, that's parsley. Oh, basil. Okay, so Lucy said, this is parsley? I thought it was basil. If you want to go into the fridge, we can show the difference between basil and parsley. It's kind of like a little spear shaped almost. Kind of oval. There should be a clamshell of basil in there. Other side. Ah, thank you. So we have to chop all our veggies first to get everything prepped. If you're using bacon or sausage, you want to pre-cook those. So that's going to start. We are also going to saute our veggies because I want to make them a little softer. We'll bake in the oven, but sometimes, you know, onions can be really strong. And so if you saute them, that helps develop those sugars that are in the onion naturally. So, oops, hold on 1 second. Oh, thank you. Yep. Okay, so Lucy was confused about the parsley. So again, here's the parsley. It looks a lot like cilantro, but it smells nothing like cilantro. And that's how usually you can tell the difference. Here is what basil looks like.
It's a rounder leaf, but that's
yeah. So it's bigger leaves, and if you see, it kind of looks a little like a spear tip.
It looks kind of like spinach.
It kind of looks like spinach, yeah. The big difference between spinach and basil, aside from, yes, there's definitely a stronger odor to it. So here's our spinach leaf. This is a baby spinach leaf.
No,
yeah. And then here is the basil. And so you can see, yeah, a little more spiky and a little more rounded. So spinach, basil, and that's the difference between the two.
I can take that basil back.
Yep. So your recipe says you can use basil. I didn't really want basil in this. I prefer just having chives instead. So we are ready to start prepping our veggies. And again, if you feel we are going too fast, please let me know. You want to get the other cutting board and we'll set up a second workstation? I'll grab that. What can I grab to go into this? That'll work. Yep. Okay, so we have to cut all of our veggies.
Crustless mini quiche. Single serving breakfast muffins.
I love quiche.
Well, eggs, cream, milk.
Okay.
Firstly, we might have some salt and pepper. We've got that. I've got broccoli if it's.
Yeah. So yeah, just a reminder, remain muted unless you have a question, because that pulls the video away from what we're doing. So I'm just cutting our pepper right now. So I'm just cutting straight down the sides, trying to avoid getting the seeds. Yep, you can cut the chives. Chives are kind of fun to cut because actually you could just use scissors and they would work fine.
How many chives do you want?
Oh, a handful.
So like that much?
Half of them. Okay, so we're gonna set up a compost bowl. Yep, okay.
And how small is it?
Pretty small. You want to make your herbs pretty finely diced. Okay, so here's my pepper. When you are cutting a pepper, you'll see you've got the shiny outside and then kind of the rougher inside. So outside, inside. Always want to cut with the outside down. So the outside is slippery, and if your knife is even just a little bit dull, you could slip and end up cutting yourself. So I'm just cutting straight down. Now I've got a little bundle here, and I'm just going to give it a nice fine dice all the way through. I'm gonna want to. And we're gonna do this for all of it, and maybe half. We don't need that many peppers.
I'll eat part of it.
Lucy likes red peppers. Oh, and Caitlin, great. You guys, terrific. You guys can finish up what I don't use.
I will not be eating that. I will have to coarsely chop this.
Right.
Because this is horrible.
So I'm just doing a nice little 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch dice. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me we have to preheat our ovens. So if you look at the instructions, so after the ingredients, it says preheat oven to 375 degrees. So that's what we're going for. So set your ovens to 375.
I didn't have a circle there.
No.
I didn't miss the button to start a few times.
There you go. There, you guys can finish that red pepper. And I'll just do this one little bit left.
Yeah, if you want to cut that.
Yeah, play around.
You can cut up the next one.
Okay, so we've got our peppers. I'm just going to push those aside.
I'm still coarsely chopping these.
Lucy's still working on the chives.
Yeah, hard.
And that's why I say chives kind of work better if you either have a nice big sharp knife and you can rock chop. So it's like this.
Yeah, switch this again.
Yep. So that's a rock chop. Easy, I'm letting somebody into our room. Or scissors. Scissors work really well with herbs. It's nice to just get a nice, really quick cut. Okay, so when you rock chop, keep one hand on the tip, and then you have whoops. All right.
But what if I'm afraid that I can't cut myself?
Well, you're nowhere near cutting yourself when you rock chop.
How's that?
That looks great.
Okay, cool, thanks. I'm going to just take that and I'm going to do,
okay, yes, you can do that.
just chop up my pepper.
So the next thing we have is our onion. I'm going to cut off the root end and the top. And then cut straight down the middle.
Is there anything Caitlin can cut?
Do you want to do the parsley? No.
Okay.
Parsley is scary, huh?
Okay, well, we'll have to chop that.
Yes, well, and apples, yeah, when we have to. So those are the ingredients for our next recipes.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We'll get to those in a little while. Okay, so throwing away the peel of our orange. Onion. And I'm probably only going to use 1/4 of this onion. Definitely do not need the full thing. So I'm going to take my onion. You see how there's a rainbow kind of? The layers kind of make a rainbow. We're going to go straight down from the rainbow, make a bunch of smaller rainbows. That's probably good for onion right there. And then we're going to, sure, do a nice fine dice through our rainbow slices.
Or should I chop it?
I don't know how much you want it, Caitlin.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good for our onion. We don't need much. And it's pretty strong, it's pretty pungent. That's because of the sulfur content in the onion.
What is sulfur, Mom?
Sulfur is a gas. And when it's exposed to air, it kind of makes a really sharp smell. Sometimes it can be like rotten eggs. But for onions, it just makes you kind of tear up, kind of affects your sinuses a little. I'm a little teary at the moment, not terrible. Okay, so our baby spinach it'll wilt down quite a bit because we're going to cook it with the other veggies. So I'm not going to chop that. Okay. We need to chop some of our fresh parsley, and let's see, how much parsley does it call for? 1 tablespoon, so not a whole lot. So this would be a little bit more, but once I chop it, it's going to shrink. So I'm going to kind of bunch it up into a small little bundle and then just run my knife through it. And again, this is where scissors would work wonderfully. So if you have some kitchen shears, break those out and you can just chop up. Do little tiny scissor nips.
Can I take like a piece and sharp?
Sure.
Scissors?
Oh yeah, yeah. Lucy's going to show you what it looks like to chop with scissors. Terrific. Okay. Okay. She's going to get in there. Well, don't do the stem, just the leaves. Okay. Yeah. You can use the stem and that's fine, but if you're going to use the scissors, just do the leaves. Just like giving it a little tiny haircut.
Do you like that Play-Doh thing that I used to have as a kid?
Sure. And I'm willing to bet all of our students have played pretend cooking using Play-Doh.
Oh yeah.
Yep, all the time. I used to as a child, so very good. Works pretty easily.
It's pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you don't feel safe cooking.
And this is one of those things, yeah, it's easier with the scissors than it is with a knife, unless you have a nice sharp knife. But if you're not comfortable using sharp knives yet, use the scissors. It works really well. Just want to make sure that they're nice and clean. So if you have a pair of scissors that stays in your kitchen and that's all they do is work with food, and you clean them pretty regularly, then you're fine. But you don't want to use like the scissors that you use for arts and crafts. Okay, so next we have some ham. So we're going to chop up the ham. Do you want to chop up the ham? Okay. Yeah, whichever one you want. Okay. Okay, so Lucy's going to come in here and she's going to chop the ham.
How big?
I'd say 1/2-inch pieces, so roughly the size of the peppers. And we're going to do 3 slices. This is a lot of pressure. Remember to make your claw so you get your fingers out of the way. There you go. Can I show you a trick? So rather than, here, I'm gonna let someone in. So rather than just do it like that, roll it up.
That works.
Yep, and then you can go right through. So here,
it's a little ham roll up.
It's a little ham roll up. Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Yep. Make sure you make your claw so you keep your fingers out of the way. Yep. There you go.
And practice this.
Yep. Okay. And then just put your rolls together. That's okay. And then you can just chop straight down through the rolls. Okay. And again, keeping those fingers out of the way. There, you finish up with that. Okay. And then the last couple pieces on that. Meanwhile, we've got to get our cake pan prepped. So I'm going to have Caitlin put in the papers.
All right. Got it.
And I think we only need 8. Let me see.
Yeah, I got it.
8.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so we've been prepped here. We've got that. Lucy, can you put the herbs back in the fridge?
Yeah.
Terrific. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment so I can grab my cooktop. Now again, you do not need to cook these veggies. They will cook while they're baking.
I will grab it.
But, thank you, I forgot that. Mm-hmm. But if you want to, a little bit bigger. We don't have a little bit, we have a big bit. That's okay, so we have a pan. There we go. Going to add some olive oil to it, but we're going to wait until it gets warm. So I've got to start it up. So now this is the point where you would probably want a grown-up to help. Unless you've done a lot of cooking on your stovetop, then you maybe don't necessarily need their help.
Especially if you have one that's not like gas.
Yeah, so this is a little propane burner that I use for these classes, but otherwise we have an electric stovetop that has the flat top. So it's a little bit less intimidating to work with. The only thing is it stays warm longer, so you have to be careful with that aspect of it. But we're just letting our pan warm up. We're gonna do the peppers and onions first, and then put in the spinach. And we don't have to add the ham, but I will add the ham just to warm it up a little because it was in the fridge. So starting to feel that the pan is getting hot. So we're gonna add some olive oil. Okay, so Lucy is going to help add the peppers. Just add all of it. So now if you're also working with other veggies like cauliflower, broccoli, green pepper, all of these would be delicious to work with and really easy. Lucy's going to take over stirring duties.
Ooh, that one's already caramelizing.
It's whatever the grown-up in your world wants. So, and you could saute these veggies and pull them aside and do some without and some with. Yeah. So it's all up to you.
You make like a little breakfast salad.
Yeah.
With sauteed veggies.
Oh, mushrooms. You could add mushrooms to this. In fact,
you should.
I'm going to.
Yeah, you like mushroom stuff. And these are for you, so.
I'm going to chop up some mushrooms quickly, but we're not going to add them to all of them because some people in my house don't care for mushrooms. So Lucy's going to keep moving things around in there, keep stirring it up so that nothing sits around too long because that's when they start to burn. AKA me. I don't like mushrooms. Yes, Lucy and her dad, they do not care for mushrooms. It's just tasty. Okay, so we're at the time things are starting to look a little softer. So if you're adding spinach, you can add the spinach to start wilting. So you can pick on the guys. Okay, I'll chop the mushrooms for you. All right, Lucy's going to chop mushrooms. Yeah. And don't worry, this looks like a ton of spinach. It'll wilt down. Same with the peppers. Okay.
I feel like since my beginning
garlic would be a really good addition, but if you're using garlic, you want to be careful because it can burn really quickly and then it gets super bitter. So you want to be careful with adding garlic. You don't want to add it too soon. All of them? Yeah, all of them. Okay. All of them? No. That's what I have. Yep. Just leave them there for now. Oh, yeah, they're big. Okay. Lucy's still working on the mushrooms. Make them a little today. Caitlin finished putting get the liners in our muffin tin. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them a quick spray with some cooking spray. And that's just going to help so that the eggs don't stick. Maybe. I'm just doing a nice little top. That's because of our pepper. All right, so that's ready to go. And just put that to the side until we're ready for it. So if I'm going to add garlic, now would be the time. So I think I will. I'll add a little bit of garlic. That won't kill nothing. That beeping was our onion, our oven is ready to go. So I just have some pre-chopped garlic that I'm just adding to the pan. About a teaspoonful if that's what you choose to do. And it's really quick. Great. So we're going to take these veggies out because they're ready. And remember, I'm not doing all of these with mushrooms, so I'm going to have the mushrooms in a separate container. All right. They're soft. They're kind of, mushrooms are kind of velvety. I'll have that one. Okay, so Lucy's going to take over stirring the mushrooms. And we just want this to cool down a little bit, so let's give it a minute or two. I'm going to move some things aside.
If it's too hot, could it like cook the egg?
Yes.
That you can go in the oven?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we'll show a way to make that
Happen?
not happen.
Oh, okay.
Well, we've got a lot of heat. Put that in the, yeah, no. There you go. And the mushrooms won't take very long.
They're already done here.
Yep.
Getting some cooked up.
And with the mushrooms, I'm just going to add a little butter.
Why butter? Just like a question.
Butter makes them better.
Butter makes everything better.
Yeah, so just a little bit of butter in that.
That's true logic, and Mom.
So this is called sauteing, what we're doing right now. We started off with a dry saute because there wasn't really any oil left from when we did the first batch of veggies. And that helps just get some of the moisture out of the mushrooms so they're not slimy. And then now we're doing a regular saute using butter.
Make them better.
To make them better.
That's probably why they call it butter.
Mm-hmm.
Butter.
Okay. So these are looking good. They're going to cook a little bit longer, but I'm going to turn off my burner. Yep. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the ham, but that's okay because the ham's pre-cooked, so you don't have to worry about it. Did you know that? I do know this. Okay, so we're going to move this burner out of the way. And now we have to start making our egg mixture. How is everyone doing? How are you feeling? Are you in a good spot where you can move forward with making the egg mixture? Go ahead and unmute and let me know if you need us to slow down a little and I'll kill some time. Okay, it sounds like nobody's piping up, so I think we're pretty good to go. So we've got 6 eggs. We've got heavy whipping cream. We've got milk, salt and pepper, and our cheese. And then we also have the chives, and yep, the parsley, the ham, and our veggie mixes. So first we're going to do is do our eggs. You want to crack the eggs? Go for it. No, I do not. Okay. Usually I crack them. I'm scared of other things. How about a pinch skin? Yeah, our chicken have a thin shell. That happens.
Can I come back?
Oh. Uh-oh. We have a broken one. That's okay. Oh, and Lucy got a little bit of shell in there. That's okay. So if you get shell in your eggs,
It's broken in those.
yep, I know. What you can do, pretty simple trick, is you just take half of the shell and you can scoop it right out, which it worked really easily. If you try to get it with your finger, a lot of times you just end up chafing around the bowl for a long time. It does help, yeah.
All right, now shell.
Well, I hope they're big. Move this closer so you're not having to go so far away.
I'm trying to get all this white out.
Okay. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, goodness. That's a big old mess.
Oh, I used to never, ever get that.
Should I try to crack
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
This is like, yes.
I'm
tapping out.
Well done. You did great. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a whisk and we are going to beat our eggs. You can also use a fork. You don't have to use a whisk. Okay, we need a 1/4 cup heavy cream and a 1/4 cup of milk. That's next. 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Found it. Great. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Not hearing you very well. Did you ask me to slow down? Guessing you did. Okay. I'm just checking to see if we've had any comments here. Oh, good job. You remembered, Natalia. Yes, that's right. The difference between male and female peppers is that the male peppers have 3 chambers on the bottom and the female peppers have 4. And it's just a way to classify them. You can have a male and a female pepper come from the same plant. It's just a way that they grow. There really isn't that big a difference. It's just that the male peppers usually are better to eat cooked and they have fewer seeds. And female peppers usually have more seeds and are sweeter. So, yep, so a 1/4 cup. So we're going to move ahead. And my liquid measuring cup is filled with, yes, it's currently filled with salad dressing that we made last night. So we are using a dry measuring cup, which is, no, there's slight difference. So I just want to be aware of that. So next we add a 1/4 cup of milk. I'm just going to tilt this back down again. Yeah. There you go. A little bit more. Fantastic. And we're just going to mix those around. Next. Now, the fun thing about cooking is it doesn't have to be perfect. Baking it does, which is why I don't bake very much. That's why I bake. Okay, so we can add in our herbs. So we have our chives.
I'll grab the parsley.
Lucy's grabbing the parsley. Okay, yep, and Lucy's gonna mix it around. Okay. Next, we've got our ham. Okay, so we've added the ham. Now, cheese. Yep, and approximately 3/4 cups. So again, you can just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. That was about a half. Okay, yep, you guys can have some of that cheese. And again, it's any cheese that you want. So if you want cheddar, Swiss, Gruyere, all of those would be delicious. Mozzarella, provolone. It's up to whatever your grown-ups' preferences are. Okay, we also need some salt and some pepper. So for this, it's an 1/8 teaspoon of each. So we need some pepper and some salt. And again, mix it around. So now remember Lucy's question was, if you add the hot veggies, could it cook the eggs without even going in the oven? And the answer is yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to temper the eggs. And how you do that is you add a little bit of your egg mixture to your hot veggies. No, it helps bring them to an even temperature so that they're the same temp and you're not dumping a bunch of hot veggies into cold eggs. So we're going to add a couple of spoonfuls of our egg mixture to our veggies. I'm going to use a fork for this. And then we're just going to give it a good mix. See right there. We're not cooking the eggs. We're just bringing everything closer to the same temp so that when you add your veggies to the main mix, you're not going to pre-cook those eggs. Then they get a little too cooked. They might get a little too cooked. That's right. Okay. So then I've just added the veggies. To everything else. Okay, so I'm going to do half without the mushrooms. So I'm just going to add these to the cupcake tins. And then I'll add the other mushrooms for the other half of the quiches. So here's our tin, all set to go. And I think I'm gonna do this with the 1/4 cup. We might have more just because of the amount of veggies that we have. We might have enough to make more than 8 quiches. So about a 1/4 cup of the mixture for each one. So that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to add the mushrooms. Oh, want help? No. Okay, so she's going to mix that up.
It's what I have.
That's funny. That's the other thing. You don't really need any special tools really to cook. You can make do with whatever you have.
You could use a cup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we've got those added. How's everyone doing? Are we still doing okay? Okay, we're going to add a 1/4 cup to the other ones.
Those look really good.
Oh, great. And I think, yeah, we're gonna have extra, so we can do more.
Okay, where is this?
Right over here. You didn't finish your job.
You put in what you thought.
We just have more mix than what the recipe called for. So that's cool. Let's do,
Fill it up and just.
yeah, we'll take one out if we don't need it. Yeah. There it is. Okay, so if you're doing more liners, don't forget to put some cooking spray in there so the eggs don't stick to the liner. If you don't have cooking spray, that's fine. Just be prepared that it might stick a little bit to the paper. Excuse me. Oh. Oh, yeah, we have enough for 10. Maybe 11, we'll see. So I'm just getting my spatula to try to get the rest of the ingredients together. Yeah, and we'll just pour it in, like Lucy said. Okay, 10.5. So that half one's gonna bake pretty quickly.
Wait, so how is that gonna work? Is it just gonna like over bake?
We might take it out early.
Oh, and this one went.
Okay, that's right, we did. So it looks like we're set. Everything's ready to go.
Perfect.
Yes. Thank you for my entrance. So now these have to go into the oven. And let's see for how long. 25 minutes.
Right,
20 to 25 minutes. So we're going to start off with 18 because my stove cooks pretty fast. And then we'll check them. And if they seem like they're ready, then we'll be done. Okay. So be careful if you are putting those in the oven. Yep, we're starting with 18. Yep.
18 minutes and 10 seconds.
There we go. And now every good cook cleans up their workstation before they start their next recipes. So let's give a quick wash to all of our stuff and put away what we don't need.
I will put them in my sound good. Whipping cream. Whipping cream. And I will put you with all my other baking stuff. Remember, here, everything. Oh.
Okay, how is everyone doing? Do we have any? Oh, we have a comment. I'm just going to pull this up. Doing great. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you. Awesome. So let's see. We've got 2 more recipes that we have to do since that worked for. So we have the apple gorgonzola crostini. Move the salt pepper. Smells a baguette. Okay, so we have a baguette right here. 2 apples. 2 Granny Smith apples. Oh, let me put this down. There we go. 2 Granny Smith apples, washed. Honey, some honey. Honey goat cheese. And we have 2 different types of goat cheese. We have just regular goat cheese, and we have honey goat cheese. Again, this is because I'm the mom, I get to choose what is in my recipe. So if your parent or grown up likes goat cheese, use goat cheese. If they like blue cheese or gorgonzola, that's a little sharper bite, use that. You have a bunch of different options. Brie is another one. Brie is very mild. So that would be another good one to use. Okay. So first things first is we are going to chop our apples. Yep, and I'll show you what I'm looking for. This is like I'm gonna use my hand. So we've got our apple. We're going to cut it right down the middle. And then you're going to cut straight down right by the core. And then you're going to turn it on its side. And then you're going to cut down at an angle. And that takes out the core. So I'll show that again on the other half.
How big do you want these slices? You want them?
So these slices are going to be just a slice, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. So again, here's our apple, here's the core. So you're going to cut down straight through by the core.
Could you choose to not do Granny Smith apples?
You could do a different apple. Yeah. Yeah, I think Honeycrisp would be really good. Pink Ladies would be fine, Fuji's. It's just that Granny Smith has that nice bite that pairs really well with creamy cheese. So, okay, so we cut straight down through, then we turn it on its side, and we cut at an angle
to try to get all of that.
Yeah, to get all of that out. And I missed a little bit, so I'm just going to cut a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Now, what we're looking for with these is just nice thin slices. Okay, just like that. And you're going to do, look how thin that is.
Paper thin?
Not paper thin, but pretty thin. This one has a bruise on it, so we won't use that piece.
Does it hurt?
It sounds like it. Yep, so we want to do that for all of our pieces. So Lucy's going to take over for that.
Put it like this?
Yep. Yep, so Lucy's showing you how to hold the knife. You want to kind of grip
where you're.
Yep.
So grip here. Yep. Then take your pointer and your thumb and go on each side of the blade.
Yep. And that gives you more control. Good. Kayla, do you want to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay, try not to be so loud.
I'm not trying.
Just hurting everybody's eardrums over here. So.
What Lucy does this?
How do I do this? That's pretty good. Okay, that's probably good. What if we have to,
what if we do the chopping?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think we're going to need the two. Because I don't think we're going to do the whole loaf. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is we have to cut our crostini, which, yep, the broken half. So that's okay. So to take the baguette and form crostinis, you're just going to cut straight through at about a ½ inch. Oh, this one's nice and sharp. So about this thick.
Can I cut it?
And we're going to bake these for 5 minutes so they crisp up, but they don't get super brown. That's fine. It's so hard. Hiccups every time. So this is when you would take your baking sheets. And this will give us a chance to look at our quiche and see how that's working. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna lay these onto our baking sheet.
Are we gonna put any fire on your sentence? I
don't think so. Well, let's check the recipe because maybe we have to. Yes, no, we don't have to add any oil. Well, we're gonna put them in the oven for 5 minutes. Oh, and our eggs are working. They look good. Yep, quiche is the right word. You could also call it egg muffins. So I'm only making about half the baguette. So we're gonna save that for later. So the next step, once they come out of the oven, we're gonna spread cheese and we're going to add our apples. And then they go back in the oven for a little bit just to melt that cheese.
That's not happening right now. Should we start stuff up on the other recipe?
Yes. Okay. So the next recipe after this is going to be the deconstructed cheesecake.
I'm going to do this for you.
Sure, we can slow down for a minute. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm going to roll this for you.
Okay. You don't need to roll that one. So Lucy was talking about a trick that we do with limes and lemons, and you roll them on the countertop or between your hands to soften them up so you can get all the juice out. But we're not using any of the lemon juice. We are only using the zest. So the zest is the skin of the lemon.
That's why you have the zest around.
Yes. So yes, we're going to take and zest our lemon because there's all sorts of oil in the peel. And that's what zest is. It's just the peel. And you just want the yellow stuff. Once you start to see the white, you don't want that. Right, because why?
That's meaning you hit where it's going to start going into the lemon.
Close. There's a bigger reason.
It's not good.
It's bitter. Nobody likes bitter. So we're going to avoid the bitter part.
Oh my God.
And just get the zest. So what we also have to do though for this deconstructed cheesecake is we have to chop our berries. So I'm going to wash these up. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So what we're going to do, if I go knife. They don't have to be perfect. So here's your berry. You're just going to cut the stem off. And then we're going to just cut small bits.
Should I start testing?
No, we'll wait. Yep, just cut straight through. You can snack on the little ends. Yep, you do get the next one, Kayla. So if you want to start cutting. So it's almost time for us to pull those crostini. So we'll just give it another minute or two.
Wait. Oh, these aren't working how I thought we were going.
What did you think we were going to do?
I thought we were going to take out the middle and like pipe stuff in it.
No, that's a little more fancy.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I think.
This is deconstructed, which means that yes, right. Okay, so I'm going to out of the oven. And I'm going to actually have Caitlin slide down. Oh, big deal, Lucy. That's why you wear apron. Stop, y'all. Okay. So let's move this over. Well, you're gonna come and help me spread cheese. Okay, so like I said, we have two different kinds. We have honeyed goat cheese and we have regular. And again, you can use whatever cheese your grown-up in your world likes. I'll do this one. You want to use that one? Okay.
It looks like it would be
So yeah, we're just going to take some of our cheese.
This one.
Yes. Lucy said this would make a good charcuterie board. And if you don't know what charcuterie is, it's just a fancy French word for meat and cheese board. So we've got some cheese on here, and then we're just going to top. It's not spread. Yep. Do your best. Yeah. So some of these will have regular goat cheese, some will have honeyed goat cheese.
So on the regular goat cheese, are we going to put honey?
Sure.
But what about the honey goat cheese ones? Are we going to put more honey?
I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet.
Okay, well, it's all your taste buds. So the parents.
Yes.
Give the mother and mother.
Well, I say that because some people, you know, they also have grandparents and aunts and cousins and maybe older siblings who are their parent or guardian, or just somebody that they love and want to treat to a special brunch.
With the grandma.
Yeah, with the grown-up in their world that represents a mom figure.
Yeah. Because it could be anyone.
It could be anyone, that's right. So we're just taking and putting our apple slices on top. You can do 2 apple slices, keep it to 1, your call. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of these bigger slices can definitely cover the whole crostini. But if you have smaller, thinner pieces.
Is it a crostini or a crostini?
Crostini. So C-R-O-S-T-I-N-I is how you spell crostini.
Okay. Okay. What I asked.
Yeah. And Caitlin is still busy doing the strawberries over here, so that's good news.
He's like, okay, bye.
All right, and then I'm going to join Lucy with this honey goat cheese because I think I've done enough of the regular.
I've only done like 3 with the honey goat cheese. So
Yeah.
I think having your help would help. Wait.
Having my help would help. It still works as a sentence.
Okay. Here we go. This one I want to be really good cheese. Okay, Cheeselvania. What does that mean?
I don't know. Lucy's making up words again. How's everyone doing? Are you all doing okay? Feel free to unmute and tell me to slow down if I need to. Oh, there's our timer for our quiche. Let's take a look.
Interrupting.
Whoa, okay, they're not quite ready yet. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they're puffed up and everything, but I can tell they're still pretty wet in the center.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put them in for another 4 minutes. And we'll see how that works. All right. Okay, we've got a pretty thin slice here, so I'm just gonna add a second. All right. Well, I have to go back in the oven so the cheese gets a little melty. So let's cover them up. Lucy, can you put these away?
Yes, strawberry. I ate on step.
That's the fun thing about cooking. You can go ahead and sample all of your delicious things. Okay, so let's see. Yep. So we're going to put these back in the oven for about 5 minutes. Oh no, it says 7 to 10. We'll go with that.
So should I start zesting?
Sorry?
Should I start zesting?
You really want to zest, huh? We're going to move this out of the way. So Lucy is going to zest and bring it over here so folks can see. Now, here's the thing. This is a zester. So you can see it's got tiny little spikes. Well, not spikes. It's almost like scales.
Okay.
Yep. But if you don't have a zester, you can use a grater, a small cheese grater.
This.
Yep. Or here's the other option here, would be this kind. And then what you do is you just run it down.
Is that called a box grater?
This, it's kind of a box grater. Box graters are usually four-sided. Oh. This one's triangular, but it works. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to demonstrate really quick and then Lucy will finish it, is you just take your grater or zester, and then you can see the difference, hopefully. So here's where I didn't do it. Here's where I've been working, and it's still a pale yellow. I don't know if you can see this one so easily, but right here where my finger is, that's where I took the zest from.
It feels soft.
Yeah, so it's basically just smoothing it out. How much zest do we need? Well, let's look at the recipe. ½ teaspoon. Let me see. This. Oh. That looks about a quarter. Just do the whole thing. So depending on how large your lemon is, if it's really big, you're going to get more than a quarter teaspoon or a ½ teaspoon. With this small one, I think it's going to end up being about a ½ teaspoon. So just exactly what we need. You want to remember that you need to wash these things.
We wash this.
Yep. Okay, that looks pretty good. There goes our timer again for the eggs. Okay. Here we go. And I'm just going to take a toothpick and check to see. Clear. Pretty clear. That one's still a little wet. We're going to take this one out because this was the tiny one that we did. So you can see it. There, because it's still a little hot. And I think another couple of minutes will do it. So by the time the crostini are out, those should be done as well. We'll see though. Some of them are maybe cooking a little bit slower than the others just because they have more egg in the mix versus the veggies. Okay, so we've got our zest. And that's going to go into the cheesecake mixture. All right, Kaylin, you're rocking and rolling over here. So she's almost done with all of these strawberries. I'm just going to put you aside for a sec and clean up my station while I have a moment. So good cooks make messes. Great cooks clean up their messes. Always remember, if you're going to cook, you have to always clean up what you make.
And therefore, you also always have to make a mess, which I agree with that.
Okay, for the next recipe, we are going to need powdered sugar, graham crackers, vanilla extract. Sorry, I'm forgetting to show this side. Our lemon zest, our strawberries. No? Nope, the honey is for when the crostinis come out of the oven. So
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese, that's right. So cream cheese, which I've had out warming. So hopefully you all have too. And so the recipe calls for 3.5 tablespoons of cream cheese at room temperature. And I don't know, I don't think that bowl is going to be big enough for what we're doing. We'll get out into the mixing bowl. We're going to need our measuring spoons. No, there is no cooking involved in this recipe, just some mixing. So that's exciting. I'm going to check on everything again.
Let's see.
Oh goodness. Okay, these look pretty good. So you see them, nice and warm. We're just gonna put them to the side. They'll probably shrink down a little bit height-wise as they cool. Here's our crostinis. So we're gonna put these down. Ooh. And we're going to drizzle some honey over them. Let's move some stuff out of the way. And the pan is hot, so you want to be careful. Move it all around. There we go. I'm going to turn off my oven because we don't need it anymore. And so here's our honey. I don't trust honey. You don't trust honey? So it's just a nice light drizzle of honey for each one. You know what? Let's put these on a platter, a pretty platter. So as we do this, you'll want to be careful because again, they're hot, or at least warm. And now I can't remember which was which. Which was the goat cheese with the honey or which was the plain. But as Lucy just said, it does not matter. They're going to be very tasty regardless. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I'm sorry, it's okay, move it closer. That way the folks that on the laptop view can see it. You can just keep going. You're not doing bad at it. You're just being a little too precise. And this is more of a quick drizzle. Voila.
Voila.
That's French for there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you have it. So there's our crostini. One recipe completely done, the other one is cooling. And remember I said that they would probably get a little shorter in height. See, they kind of fell down a little bit. That's okay. That just means that the steam was releasing.
All right, time to.
Okay, now we've got to make our last final recipe. There we go. We need 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. You want to do that? How many? 3.5. Okay. While I am opening up our graham crackers. Now you can easily double this recipe if you wanted to make more servings. This is for 2. So if we were doing a double batch, we would have to have 7 tablespoons of the cream cheese. Okay. And let's see, we need 1.5 tablespoons of the powdered sugar. Yeah. I see that. Do it all. We had to get a second set out. So a tablespoon. And then 1/2. So if you were doubling the recipe, how many tablespoons of powdered sugar would you need? 3 total, that's right. Okay. We've got our cream cheese, our powdered sugar. We need vanilla extract. Where did that get to? There it is. This is 1/2 teaspoon. Now join the party. Yep, and I put way too much in, so I just poured a little bit back. We need a lemon zest. Oh, that is a smell. A good smell. And thank you for clarifying that it was a good smell. Yeah, I like the lemon. Okay, and then we need 8 graham cracker crumbs. Where did they? So we need 8 graham crackers. And I don't know if they mean like all of this or more than that. So what we're going to do for the graham cracker crumbs, we're going to take them and put them in a baggie. And we're just going to smash the heck out of them. Okay, Lucy can, no. We don't want to break everybody's eardrums at home. Now I'm putting the rolling pins, just push them down. Just manhandle it. This is a crazy recipe. Really the thing that took the longest was cutting the strawberries and mixing the cream cheese. Wait, this does not have recipe. Well, we didn't eat all of it, but that's okay. Now we have a bunch of strawberries. Okay, so it doesn't make a ton of mixture, but you really don't need a whole lot. We're going to put a little bit of our graham cracker crumbs at the bottom of both of our bowls. And then we'll top it with the cream cheese mixture. We'll do half in each bowl. And then we'll top the rest with strawberries and add some more graham crackers on top of it. Oh wait, this is the strawberries. Yep. So you can do it. Okay. And then you can make it for me next weekend. Good. Okay. Can you grab a big spoon, please? We have some bigger bits of our graham crackers. So I'm just working at those, no big deal. And then I have so a spoonful of graham crackers on the bottom of each of these bowls. Okay. And we've got our cream cheese mixture. We'll do approximately half in each.
So again, this is not what I thought.
Yeah, Lucy thought we were going to be piping this mixture into a large strawberry.
Once you said that wasn't how we were doing that,
Oh,
I thought another thing.
You thought something else.
I thought we were going to put it on here and put graham crackers.
Oh, that's another way. Yeah, you could do it that way. You could
Not like
use it
this.
as a dip and keep the strawberries whole. And then crush your graham crackers, and then you can dip.
Can you slow down a little bit?
We can slow it down a little bit. How many strawberries? That's a good question. We used the whole container, but really you're not going to use all of those on these. I like a lot of strawberries though, so I would tend to go pretty heavy on those. So while we're slowing down, I'm just going to take care of washing a few of these pieces. Take your time.
Okay, now we're done. The boys and strawberries. Strawberries doesn't work from this.
Okay, how's it going? Put this back down again. And next, yep, now we're going to add our strawberries to the tops.
I'm fine with this one. Then I will the other one. That's good. Okay.
Yep, you can play around with it, make it look beautiful.
Done.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Show everybody at home.
What else I breathe after a piece of strawberry? I don't know. Okay, there we go. So, bloop, 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 bloop.
Okay.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Okay. All right. How's everybody doing? So those are our dishes. We've got our frittatas, or sorry, crustless quiche, but again, essentially the same thing as a frittata. Frittata is a crustless quiche. Gosh, that's hard to say. Crustless quiche.
Crustless
quiche. So that's here. And then we've got our apple crostini and deconstructed strawberry shortcake, which I'm going to take a bite of.
I'll make it for you next weekend.
Let me tell you about this. This is I gotta taste it, make sure it tastes good, right? So we're going to try some of our goods. Everyone in a position where they can try some of what they made today? These are really good. Super rich and creamy. I think I just got plain goat cheese on that one. Me too. But really good and still healthy. Goat cheese has a nice amount of protein in it. You've got the healthy apples, a little bit of carbs with the bread. Excellent. All right, now's the time to unmute. Are you guys trying your food? What do you think of it? Are you saving the recipes for next weekend? Okay, now we have to try some of our Crustless Quiche. Go ahead. All right, so. Yep, so here we go. Ooh, really good.
Kind of like an omelet.
Yeah, it tastes like an omelet. And these are super customizable. So you can make some with all of the veggies and meats and cheeses or whatever for the mom figure. And you can leave out some of that stuff for other people. So make them how you like them. All right, and then last, going to try the cheesecake. Small. Because it's mine. Lucy is really worried that I'm going to have too much. That is really good. And we have a lot of leftover cream cheese and powdered sugar. So we could make more really easily. I can taste the lemon. It's really nice. All right. Anybody else get a chance to try what they made yet? So the apples would have to, the crustini would have to be eaten pretty quickly because they'll start to brown. You can stop that by adding some lemon juice. That'll help keep them from browning. But the quiche, you could put that in the fridge and it probably lasts in the fridge for 5 to 7 days.
Don't worry, I will.
Okay. So that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this cooking class. I hope you had fun. If you have any questions, the cheese bread was your favorite, Matthew. Awesome. Very good to hear. You can feel free to email me if you have more questions or if you want a copy of this video. It'll be on our YouTube channel sometime next week. But I want to say thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. It's beautiful and sunny here in northern Minnesota, outside of Duluth. So hopefully we'll get outside and maybe do some gardening or something. Yeah. All right, everyone, take care, and hopefully we'll see you for our next Kids in the Kitchen class. It will be the last one before we hit summer break, and we're planning the end of year fiesta. So it will be Mexican recipes. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks again.